So today I'm going to make a slab pot. It just gives you the principles of it. You need something to measure the thickness of your clay. I just use these dowels. You need an old rolling pin, one that you don't use for pastry, and a sort of bluntish knife would be good. So if you just roll out your clay, you roll it out on a piece of cloth, either an old tea towel. This is a piece of cut up sheet. It just makes it a lot easier to manage the clay, and you need to turn it as well so that you are rolling it in different directions, and turn it over and just get your clay a nice thickness. So once it's rolled out to the right sort of thickness, and you can test that, that's a little bit on the thick side. Let's give it another. Once it's rolled out to the right sort of thickness, there are lots of different ways you can make a slab pot. I'm using a shape that I cut out in paper, which I'm just going to cut out like that around the clay. You can have rectangles. I'm just doing this because this is a slightly more complicated way of doing it, just to give you an idea. So there's the shape, and we're going to join the edges. So I get some water and a paintbrush, and this is a cocktail stick. So what you're going to do is overlap the edges like that. But first of all, you're going to score them, because this helps them to stick together better. Score them like that with your stick, and put a bit of water on them. And then you can join them together like that and pinch and press. There we go. Then we've got a little cone shape like that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make a circle for the bottom. So I've got a plastic cup, and I'm just going to cut out a circle. Actually, that's probably a bit too big. I'll use that shape side of it. There we go. And then just cut around that circle like that. And score these edges. Score the bottom of your cone shape. This clay's a little bit on the wet side, so normally I would leave my clay slabs to dry out a little bit so they're a bit harder, but let's just wet this like watery glue, and then we can gently, with a spoon, you can attach, just push the bottom of the cone against, put that on some paper. Some paper. Push the bottom of the cone against the circle and have it stick. And you can turn it over and do the same on the outside, like that. There we go. Got your bowl sticking together. Now you need to leave that to dry out a little bit so it's leather hard, and then you can tidy up all those edges. So that gives you your bowl shape. Just joining the seams with the spoon, and that gives you your initial bowl shape. But it does need to harden off a bit. Once it's hardened off a bit, you can use your cut down plastic card and just smooth out the shape a bit more. Quite a good idea to stick it on a piece of paper, because that, and then you can make that rounder and generally more bowl-like, and then you can pinch out the top and smooth it. But I would recommend leaving it for a little while the clay stiffens up a bit. So I'm going to put that to one side for a little bit. And the little dish has firmed up a bit now, so I'm just going to do exactly the same as I did with the box, which is to roll out a little worm of clay. By the way, one trick: if you find your coils getting oval instead of round, if you twist them before you continue to roll them, then you will find that they go round instead of being oval, which is quite handy. I'm just going to put this in here, the bottom of this. So this is where we joined them together originally, and I just want to reinforce that seam with a little coil of clay. Again, I'm going to smooth it all out. You need to support the sides while you're doing this, otherwise it'll all fall over. And you just use your teaspoon to press those little worms of clay into the seam. So this is the little dish shape, and I've filled the seams with small coils and smoothed it over. And if you want to refine the outside shape, just give it a good pat with your wooden spatula, and you can actually change the shape as you wish. And there we have a little bowl. And I think I shall put a coiled foot on the bottom of that. Now, there's lots more you can do to refine this and decorate it, but I'm going to do that with you in another video.